Hello, and welcome to my first episode of my new fighting series called Super Sprite Fight. This series was inspired by all those fighting series we see out there, like Death Battle and Smash Bracket. So shout out to them, and also people like Animation Rewind. Shout out to them. Anyways, tonight's fight is going to be going against the two most popular rivals in gaming history, sort of, and two of the most popular Pokemon in the series, Mario and Charizard versus Sonic and Pikachu. Now, before further ado, I just wanted to say that this fight is inspired by all those Mario versus Sonic videos out there. I'm not gonna say specific ones from some YouTuber because there's like 7 billion versions of Sonic versus Mario. And anyways, it's also inspired by classic Sonic versus Pikachu by Animation Rewind. So shout him out. So shout out him. So anyways, let's go over the powers, weaknesses, maybe all the forms, and we'll also be discovering the rules in some part before we start. So, let's go over the first team, Mario and Charizard. The best way to describe or pick a Mario for a fighting animation is mostly trying to pick what power-ups or which Mario you're gonna choose. Like for instance, Paper Mario is not Galaxy Mario, and Super 64 Mario is not the same as the old Super Mario Bros. Mario we know. So I'm just gonna stick to the most classic thing I know: Super Mario Galaxy Mario and Super Mario 64 Mario. I'm gonna be comparing them and saying the powers differently, so I can explain why these Marios are not the same Mario. So let's start with Super 64 Mario. Super 64 Mario has intense strength by breaking big blocks with his hands, just by sitting on them, and even just punching people or enemies into oblivion. He's also really fast and also can do a lot of parkour while he's running. So this Mario plus his power-ups in the game, it's quite powerful for his own liking. Of course, he's known as a jumpman, so he can jump really high and really far, depending on how he uses that jump. He also has, like I said, superhuman strength and fireballs. Fireballs can be used by the Fire Flower power-up that he can find in many levels or blocks, but you can also use them at will. The agility of him is also making him really fast. Fun fact, some of his power-ups can even catch up to Sonic at base form. And I say only at base form, but we'll get into Sonic and the other people later. While also having his other power-ups, like Ice, Star, the Big Mushroom, and other stuff. So overall, he's pretty much a full-on tank, a full-on speedster. Not really though. And now Mario Galaxy Mario. Mario Galaxy Mario can be arguably faster than Super 64 Mario because of him just running around planets at light speed, and also being able to defeat bosses while also running around planets at the same time. So it's pretty much debatable on which Mario is the strongest. Did I also forget that Mario can also breathe in space in Mario Galaxy and take damage in lava without immediately dying, just like Super Paper Mario? See, this is what I mean by every Mario is not the same Mario. Because on one hand, we have Mario just instantly suffocating to lava, and on the other hand, we have Mario tanking a few lava hits before he submerges in lava. So I just want to clarify that again. Like in Paper Mario, he can't breathe in space like Super Galaxy Mario. So yeah. Anyway, Mario has still a lot of strength feats in this game. I said in shockwaves, still breaking big items, bigger, larger, and more durable than him as a whole person, technically. And also, like I said, running at the speed of light, because he's running around a whole planet. Even though if the planets might not be big, it's still a planet. It has to be like at least Pluto size, and Pluto is pretty big to my understanding. Charizard isn't as strong as Mario, but he is very strong, like very strong. He can lift off fire. He can lift up very like golems. He can lift up 6,000, no not 6,000, 600 pounds of his own weight. And also, not only is he a fire dragon, his flying is one of the most fastest things in Pokemon. It'll take you around 4,600 feet in the air. And like I said, he's a fire dragon, so he can shoot big meshes of fire and melt a bunch of people. And we can't forget about Ash's Charizard. Ash's Charizard has to be one of the most skilled Charizards in the whole series. One of my recommendable like showing of his powers is when he 1v3 this spoiled guy. I forgot his name, so I'm gonna put it on the screen. Anyway, Charizard has a lot of strength. It doesn't really show how much speed he has without flying or doing all of that, but he is really one of the most strongest Pokemon in the series, with him beating strong Pokemon like Lucario. And now it's time for Pikachu and Sonic Team. Let's start with Pikachu. Pikachu is probably the weakest out of all the four I just mentioned. Well, not the last one, but we'll get to him. So, let's talk about Pikachu's strength. Now, just because I said he's the weakest out of all four, doesn't mean he isn't strong. Pikachu is really strong that he has taken multiple Pokemon by himself. I mean, he has tied with one legendary Pokemon, but that was kind of it. And he also got beat by a level 5. But still, Pikachu can make big moods of thunderstorms happen on one person. But they kind of have to be fast enough to even stop him. Like those birds that he shot. It created a big thunderstorm that even shocked Ash and all the Pokemon around him. And also, Pikachu doesn't really trust at the start when he sees humans. Like, he shocked Ash as soon as he met him because he wasn't like uncomfortable or something. So yeah, Pikachu overall, he's pretty strong. You wouldn't say he's Ash's #1 Pokemon, even though he's had him for multiple like years. But still, Pikachu overall really strong. Also really fast. So that's why I put him on Sonic's team. But we'll get to him later. So, Pikachu has abilities like Lightning Ball, Lightning Rod, Thunderbolt, Quick Attack, Iron Tail, and the list goes on. Pikachu is also the smallest creature out of any of these other people. So Pikachu overall is honestly a solid Pokemon from the start. And now, the last person is Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog is probably the fastest character on this roster. His speed feats are so fast and so great that he's done stuff like move through the sound barrier, become faster than the speed of light, ball up water and then throw it, which takes a bunch in quadrillions of seconds to even do. He's even become one of his most strongest forms, known as Ultrasonic. Now, you can argue that Ultrasonic and Game Sonic or any other Sonic are not the same person, but that's kind of not true. Unlike Mario, Sonic technically only has two main forms: Classic and Modern. I would say Classic Sonic is not modern Sonic, but that's not true. Classic Sonic is just literally a younger version of modern Sonic. I would allow it for Mario if Paper Mario had like the same feats and like abilities as Super Galaxy Mario, but he doesn't. So that's the only thing that separates Mario from Sonic in terms of character. Now, as noted, Sonic isn't the strongest, but his light speed attacks literally can make himself blitz the enemy at half a second if he really wanted to. Sonic is so fast that he restored generations and the time by also defeating the time barrier and just running fast. So basically, him running fast could literally make him run through time. And he can also do that. Classic Sonic, when he runs through time, when he goes fast and he sparks up his quills, he can run through time between the past, present, or future. The signs don't really mean anything, it just shows which one he's going through. Now, you could argue that Classic Sonic is not the same as modern Sonic again, because he uses the Chaos Emeralds to teleport into another dimension. But why run fast if you have Chaos Emeralds to do that speed or to do that deed that you want to do? And speaking of the Chaos Emeralds, Sonic actually has one of his own forms, Super Sonic. Now, Super Sonic might not be a power-up, but it is still part of Sonic's roster as a whole character, so I'm allowing it. Super Sonic at his full base can absolutely fly through the sound barrier, as I said, can fly, shoot out energy projectiles, and overall, just being an invincibility hedgehog overall, just like Star Mario. It's really not surprising how he can fly even faster with this while using unlimited energy from the Chaos Emeralds. Let's not even talk about Hyper Sonic or any of his other forms. Yeah, some of his other forms are not as strong as Super, but they're pretty strong on their own. So now, before we get into the fight, let's say the rules. 1. No using other feats from other games if they're not the same person. I'm specifically using this one for Mario and other versions of other characters that are not supposed to be there. Number 2, no allies to help the character. That means if Mario can't get help from Luigi, Sonic can't get help from Tails, Knuckles, or Shadow, and Charizard and Pikachu can't get help from any other Pokemon. 3, there's gonna be no prep time. Now, without further ado, let's see who's gonna win. Mario and Charizard versus Sonic and Pikachu. Start!
Sonic Speed! Let's go!
Three, two, one, go!
Pikachu! se tako torapotako na poto che sa rapakrato. E ma tu tutto rapeto, tutto rapeto tutto na macchina pato. Tutti rapeto. Eto, tutto lavato, la vedo.
Limit? 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 I've got your limit right here! Now I'll show you! I'll show you! Rolling around at the speed of sound, world's running by you. That was almost too easy!
Pikachu!
KO!
After so long of animating this, adding sound effects, doing all that, I finally got it. Or animated it. So let me tell you why Sonic and Pikachu win against Mario and Charizard. The most focused thing about them is their speed. Again, both of these characters are really fast, and one of them is faster than the other. Mario and Charizard can't really catch them going at full speed. I mean, maybe Charizard can catch Pikachu. He's not as fast as Sonic. And Mario and Charizard does take the strength advantage. So basically, it's basically a strength versus speed thing. But in this case, strength isn't helping Mario. Now, he does have star power up. The one that he makes him invincible, but Hypersonic also becomes invincible, and we're not kind of using game logic. Even if we are, it's kind of not kind of fair, because if both of these forms are quote unquote invincible, then they wouldn't be doing any damage to each other, and that would just not be fair. So I just picked the stronger one, which is obviously Hypersonic. And if you want to argue that Hypersonic isn't part of Sonic's whole character, you can still technically use them if he uses the Master Emerald with the Chaos Emeralds to turn them into Super Emeralds to become Hypersonic. So yeah. And Charizard versus Pikachu, I might have to give that one to Charizard. I'm mostly basing it off of Ash's Charizard and Ash's Pikachu. And for doing that, Charizard has more feats on his hand. Not because Pikachu is just a little rat. Mostly because Charizard can take like a 3v3. No, not 3v3. 3v1 against all of some dude's Pokemon without even breaking a sweat. So even though Pikachu has almost like one-shotted a bunch of demons, Charizard overall from Ash does not lose against basic Pikachu. But Charizard versus Sonic is not close either. Yeah, Sonic might be smaller, but he's more faster. Maybe, not stronger. He's more faster. He's more agility. He has more versatility. And he also has a form where he has weapons. So I guess he takes that part, I guess. But Charizard can't really keep up with his like base form. And even if he did, he also has 2 other forms, which makes this not even a close fight. So overall, Sonic and Pikachu slap. Sonic does mostly all the work, but Pikachu still helps, meaning the winner of this battle is Sonic and Pikachu. If you guys want to see more of this Super Sprite Fight animations, I've been planning to do a whole series with a bunch of seasons. Please drop a like, and if you want, comment who you want to go fight against for episodes. So for now, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the next fight that's coming up.